Okay, so I've had several hours, 24 hours or more, to let my thoughts around the debate percolate, and for me to have a look at some of the people I follow and see what they're saying so I can make sense of some of it. Um, I have to admit, it wasn't easy for me to see um, how well she was doing against him. Yeah, it was really difficult for me to see that. I thought she was doing really well, and um, but with him, he's just so full of bluster. It's difficult to see through that. And what I've seen is that um, people talking about um, she poked him. I mean, she was obviously well practiced, and he wasn't. I can't remember. I think it was Scaramucci talked about um, that she arrived. Was it in Philadelphia the day before? And so when she arrived at the debate, she was refreshed and fresh. You know, she'd slept and um, no rushing. Whereas Trump arrived a few hours before the debate by plane. So the different, and he doesn't do prep, does he? He doesn't do prep unless you call watching television prep, which it seems to be all he does. Um, so she seemed fresh. I thought she felt fresh, fresh, looked ready. Um, Interesting for me that she had to walk across, not had to, she chose to walk across to him to shake his hand. He is so fucking rude. He didn't do what normal people in polite society would do, which would be to go and greet the person that you're going to be debating with. And I think that showed him up for the rude pig that he is. Um, but it depends on who you watch. So if you watch his supporters, they say that that was a power move of his to not shake her hand. Um, and yet I think it was a power move of hers to go towards him and shake his hand and show him up. Um, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of memes that are really good on the Memors Unite site on Facebook. That's been really interesting. I read, I think on there that if Taylor Swift's endorsement is not important, why did they use AI to fake it? Exactly. Um, Apparently, and I didn't know this, it did make a difference in um, the Biden when Biden won. Her support made a big difference. So it is important. Obviously, then it was important, and obviously now it's even more important. Now I'm going to get my figures wrong, and I've not written them down. I can either pause you and look for them, or I'm just going to say them, and you can fuck off if you don't like them. I'm making them up as I go along, just like Donald Trump. I understand, I think I've taken this in, that the difference in 2020 was about 14,000 votes, which made the difference. That's such a small amount of votes. It's so important to keep on track, so important to keep pushing. Um, and I'm just looking at a meme here, the picture of Taylor Swift, and it ain't over until the cat lady sings. And she's so right. It really isn't over until the cat lady sings. Really, really, you need people to get out and vote. You need to encourage people to get out and vote. The other thing about Taylor Swift, before I move on from her, is that I read this morning that Elon Musk had offered to impregnate her. Oh, God, the word that wants to come out of my mouth, I can't tell you. I'm going to have to swallow that but what a fucking. What is it with these men and their egos? I don't understand it. There's him and there's Andrew Tate, there's Donald Trump. They have egos the size of elephants. And they're just such ugly. Oh, the word wants to come out again. God, I'm going to have to be really careful. It's worse than the fuck word for me. Yeah, what is it with them? Offers to impregnate her. It's a bit like when Donald said the other day when he was talking about someone that was accusing him of sexual assault, an actress, I think, accusing him of sexual assault. She wouldn't have been the chosen one. What the fuck? I wouldn't have been the chosen one, but that's okay. I understand that, but I wouldn't fucking choose you, you fucking. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to swear a lot. Probably why I've been avoiding it. So yeah, Elon Musk offers to impregnate Taylor Swift. I wonder what. I mean, that is just so creepy. She must be really creeped out by the stuff going on around her. I worry for her. I do worry for her. And it's reminded me of something I was thinking about overnight, that I live in a society, I live in a world, in my world over here, and if I were living in the UK, where I don't have to worry about somebody armed attempting to assassinate me. I don't have to worry about kids in the local school um, having to avoid or be shot by a school shooter, as they're called. I don't have to worry about that. It's not in my, it's not in my bubble. Um, but in America, you live in a different bubble, a very different bubble. And that is always a possibility. That's always around you. The potential for there to be another school shooting, the potential for there to be attempted assassinations of people. And I worry very much about Kamala Harris in the run up to the November election. I really do worry because there's going to be a lot of right wing arseholes that don't want her to be president, a lot of racist people that don't want her to be president. What was it? Somebody said in comments some weeks ago, why can't we have a white woman? That's fucking racist. That is so racist. So yeah, I worry about Taylor Swift. I worry about Kamala Harris. Trump is making threats to people. Anybody that people. If I get to be president, these people will be punished. People that supported her, she'll get punished. He is the most scary potential for president that I've ever heard of. So during the debate, it seemed that she was able to poke him, well prepared pokes, practiced pokes, and she poked and he responded. It was like she poked him and then he started ranting about various things, going off script, going on a tangent, as is his wont. And actually, a couple of times, he threw stuff at her, like something about Biden, and she didn't respond. Oh, and that she's Marxist. Her father was a Marxist. Again, she didn't respond. Very sensibly, because it's an attempt to undermine things. It's an attempt to distract from what's going on. And she'd obviously been so well prepared. I'm really impressed with that. So well prepared that she didn't respond to that. It didn't. Those throwaway comments didn't need a response. It's really important that she kept on track, and she did. Apparently, he and his team have accused, of course, loser always losing, always blaming other. He was always blaming other people. He blamed other people in this debate, blaming the ABC moderators, saying that they were biased and that it was 3-on-1. But apparently he got 11 minutes more than she did in terms of how much screen or talking time he got. It felt like that. It did feel like he got a lot more, which really pissed me off. That, along with all the muting of mics and all of that, which was supposed to happen, he was allowed to interrupt a lot. And I felt that that was unfair, but unfair in terms of it was biased towards him rather than her. So the other thing that um, I discovered or picked up yesterday was that he, after the debate, went into the spin room, and it's not something the candidates would normally do. They wouldn't normally go into the spin room. He went into the spin room. That means that consciously or unconsciously, he knew he'd lost, and he had to go in and big himself up. And he can't allow his team to do that. He thinks he's the best at everything, so he has to go in and do that. But it just, everybody knows that's why he's doing it. It like it's just, he really is his own worst enemy, and I don't understand why people vote for him. I really don't. Um, so I think my take on it is very muddled. It's muddled in that I've taken on a lot of information over the last 24 hours and watched the debate yesterday morning, and obviously we knew how I'd feel about it. And I think that what I've heard or what I've looked at suggests that if you're watching the debate, um, you're going to be watching it. If you're watching it as someone that supports Harris, you're going to be continue to support her. If you're watching it as someone that supports Trump, you're going to continue to support him. And the only important people are those in the swing states. And I saw something, and I'm not going to know where I saw it now. I'm going to pause you because I think it's important. Hold tight. Okay, I found it. It was on Twitter. So the swing state voter panel thought Harris won tonight's debate, regardless of how they plan to vote in November. That's a lot. I mean, it's not clear from that picture how many of them would have been in Trump's corner before the debate. That just shows them afterwards. So that was in the Washington Post. There's quite a lot here. These people fell asleep during the debate. I think that's a joke. Yes, it is a joke. It is a joke. These people fell asleep. So there's a lot here, which will mean more to you in America than it does to me. But so they're the important people, the swing state people, not people like who is obviously a Harris supporter. So that's it, really. I'm quite tired, and yeah, I had quite a lot of pain in the last couple of days, and I'm quite tired. But I needed to get all this out of my head. There's a load of brilliant memes on this. I know I keep talking about this group, but it's really helpful because it's mostly Americans in it. Made me laugh, this one. Hold on. I'll leave this on just so that you can, if you want to read it, you can pause it. I think it's really important for you to read. This is another thing I thought about. It's like, why are they called aliens? It makes them sound, it's like they're human. We're all human beings. They're not bloody aliens. And finally, I'm just starting to read this. The men who like women and the men who don't. Yes, we can tell. It's quite interesting. I've read most of it. I need to go back and read it again. But it's quite an interesting read, so I recommend it. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go away now and wait for my shopping. Thanks for watching.